Welcome learners to the foundations of Heutagogy. Today's topic of discussion is social media and Heutagogy. The concept of Heutagogy itself carries a self-determination. It bears the self-directedness to the self-determination. And as we know, educators today are tasked with developing lifelong learners who can survive and thrive in a global knowledge economy. Now, learners who have the capability to effectively and creatively apply skills and competencies to new situations in an ever-changing, complex world needs to have some sort of support, some sort of training. And Heutagogy is there to cater to such millennials. Now, when we talk about Heutagogy can give us support, now this approach is actually talking about some contemporary issues, some contemporary strategies in building up this lifelong learner. How can Heutagogy bring about such contemporary issues, such contemporary approaches, strategies, tools to develop these lifelong learners? This rapid growth and enhancement of mobile and social media tools and their affordances offer significant opportunities for creative and innovative design of learning experiences. We cannot deny this fact. When we talk about a knowledge economy, a knowledge hub, a knowledge society, in this contemporary world where change is the constant, so definitely we cannot think something which is very much in use right now, the social media, especially the Web 2.0 technologies, the social media technologies, right? This rapid growth and enhancement of all these gadgets, and also these are very much affordable. We can afford. Maximum of learners in our experience in an open distance learning system, what we have come across, there are very few learners, I can't give a figure, who do not possess a smartphone. So it is affordable. Now Heutagogy and the social media are connected. How? Because social media is a voyage, is a kind of vehicle through which heutagogical approaches can be permeated into the lifelong learners, the way they can learn, because time, pace and situation, everything is managed by these social media tools, and we are witness to it. Sometimes at midnight we check out our learning resources. Sometimes we get some posts, some learning posts, or something very important thing. Maybe we can go for an email. So it is as per your pace. So heutagogical approaches, Heutagogy actually calls for this freedom, and this is how it can make a learner to determine his or her own learning paths. So this opportunity is best given by the social media. Web 2.0 and social media has played an important role in generating new discussions about Heutagogy within higher education. So why are we restricting our discussion to higher education? Because in our previous discussions, we have already established that Heutagogy is an extended approach of andragogy. So we have taken into consideration the lifelong learners who are adult in nature, right? So this Web 2.0 design supports a heutagogical approach by allowing learners to direct and determine their learning path, and by enabling them to take an active rather than passive role in their individual learning experiences. So this active word is very important in case of self-determination or self-determined learning. Because if you are not an active participant, if you are not interacting, then you are depending on something. You are waiting for someone to give a nudge to you. So, heutagogical approach underpins active participation, interaction. So, your involvement is very necessary, and which is provided by social media technology, especially the Web 2.0 technologies. Now, the key affordances of social media, the connectivity with others, information discovery and sharing. It can be individual, it can be in a group, and personal collection and adaptation of information as required. As just now I have said, we can create our own time of learning. We can share our experiences. If I am sharing in my own time, you have your time of receiving those and interacting or sharing your thoughts on those at your own pace. But that interaction continues. No one else is going to download it for you. No one else is going to open it for you and reply or respond or reciprocate. So this is a very, very affording thing, very affordable thing, because we have the gadget with us and the technology is very user friendly. Heutagogy takes this advantage because the principles of heutagogy actually supports through the Web 2.0 technologies, and are also affordances that support self-determined learning activities. Because we are talking about activities, active participation, interaction, so the learning activities are also in such a way, can be released in such a way that the lifelong learners or the adult learners can easily embrace it and take the advantage of it. Now, why are we talking about this social media, Web 2.0 and heutagogy, their relationship? Because these things have come into the focus with some recent researches. So, we'll just take a look at the researches and what they are actually putting forward. So, they indicate the use of social media which support the self-determined learning, because heutagogy actually rests on the self-determination, self-determined learning. The learners are taking their own path of learning, right? They are interdependent, independent and also interdependent. And this interdependence is among the teacher, the resources, all these things are the interdependent factors. Now, these researches show that mobile learning, well, how this mobile learning is supporting heutagogy. So, we have a reference, Cochrane and Bateman's research showed that mobile learning supports collaboration, data and resource capturing and sharing and reflective practice. Use of mobile learning was also found to increase learner and learner external interaction as well as reflective practice, which is termed as learning journals. Another thing, virtual philosopher. We write so many things through WhatsApp, through other social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Insta. So, all of us, maybe in a very minuscule, are philosophers. Now, this is supported by a research conducted by Hornsby and Maki. They report on an asynchronous learning tool meant to build learners' skills in developing, reflecting upon, and transforming thinking processes and logic. The online tool provides active learning activities built around various scenarios that the learner works through in a process of self-discovery. We learn so many things while fiddling, isn't it? The very first time when we were into a web platform, taking classes or doing classes was a heck. But then we determined. We became more manageable. This is on the part of both the educator, facilitator and the participants or the learners. So how did we manage? So there lies the linkage, the relationship between these media and the heutagogy. Actually, heutagogical approaches doesn't estimate or doesn't put any particular approach, but this facilitation, the appropriate use of the tools, the interventions through ICT for the adult learners is all about the self-determination, choosing our own way of learning, choosing our own learning path. This doesn't mean it is a very unstructured thing. No. In any skill development program, or we can say in case of any course, we can give the liberty. We can disseminate the classes, we can disseminate the curriculum transaction through Web 2.0, and we have been doing so, right, for the last 3 years. Now, with these researches, these reports, this Heutagogy is gaining a momentum, because the self-determination, choosing our own learning pathway, being interactive, being active, are all the basic aspects or the basic principles of Heutagogy. And sometimes, as we said the last line, it's a process of self-discovery also. We fiddle through so many things and we get to know. And maybe something or the other we adopt, we adapt in order to carry out our own learning, in order to keep ourselves more convinced with the learnings that are being given to us. Apart from this, Twitter, since Twitter is also a Web 2.0 technology, well, again, a recent study by Junko, Heiberger and Loken in 2010, they showed that students who used Twitter as compared to those who did not were more actively engaged in their learning processes and had higher GPAs. Junko et al. 2010 also found that the use of Twitter boosted student-student and student-instructor interaction as well as promoted active learning. So these are some of the data, the reports, the researches that determines how social media tools can act as an instrument for self-determined learning. Other than that, we have learner-generated content, that is active media use. How can it be used? The social media in creating learner-generated content seems to contribute to development of skills of self-directedness. Some initial research findings by Blasch, Otto and Kurtz 2010 indicate that active use of social media, for example, development of learner-generated content, supports cognitive and metacognitive skill development. Here one thing is something which we have not talked about till now, that is the metacognition. Metacognitive is thinking over thinking, compelling you to think and think more about something which is being put on the board, given to you. So if you are taking the onus of developing some content, developing your own learning skills, there you are actually using and utilizing your thinking over thinking. So Heutagogy is actually, with the help of social media technology, is compelling you for metacognitive skills too. Apart from these, we all know the three terminologies that are displayed on the PPT is the Facebook, WhatsApp, emails and blogs. These have also contributed a lot in social interaction, in building up of our own learning experiences and also sharing it among our peers, friends, co-participants, co-learners and whatsoever. In addition, we can say that Web 2.0 encourages interaction, reflection in dialogue, collaboration and information sharing, as well as promotes autonomy and supports creation of learner-generated content. With this Web 2.0 as its supporting technological framework, Heutagogy can now be seen as further developing Pedagogy 2.0. It is often termed as Pedagogy 2.0 as defined by McLaughlin and Lee 2007. Learners are self-directed to continue to learn on their own and can personalize their learning paths in the way they desire. And for learners to achieve learning benefits with mobile and social media tools, they need to be scaffolded in the process for effective and methodic use of the tools, requiring a reconceptualization from social to academic application, a set of refined design principles for educators, are required to guide in the use of mobile and social media in contextually embodied learning and teaching. Well, we were talking about social media, its powerful impact on education, and how heutagogy or the approaches, the philosophy of heutagogy can be best carried out through social media technology. But we cannot forget that it has to be structured, and for that some methodic intervention is very important in order to give it a systematic teaching learning shape.